Gerwyn Price enters the stage, already a finalist on the European Tour this year in Austria. He was beaten by his compatriot, his World Cup teammate Johnny Clayton, who we'll see in action later on this afternoon. Price taking on Mike De Decker. Thrilling contest yesterday, 6-5 win for De Decker, averaging above 95, and if he brings that game to the Iceman, well, he might give him a game. I'm Chris Murphy and Dan Dawson alongside me.
Yeah, the most impressive thing from De Decker in that game against Paget was that last leg where he found an excellent string of visits to close it out. For a young man who goes by the nickname The Real Deal, he showed us a little glimpse of what he's capable of. Another glimpse here, and we could see another seeded player tumble out of the tournament. Winner of this faces Michael Smith or Jermaine Watermain, which will be a game on the way this evening. But Mike De Decker, I mean, his forays in Euro Tour darts haven't been very regular, to be honest. So even though he's a man of immense talent,
first leg going to throw first. Game on.
We haven't seen the best of Mike De Decker on the Euro Tour very often.
It's the first time that he's been the sole Belgian representative?
Very good question.
I mean, Kim Huybrechts was never present on the Euro Tour, so certainly in the Euro Tour, I assume it is. Although Huybrechts has since not been an ever present due to an administrative error,
yes,
has kind of been an ever absentee.
Yes, not helped him out. Obviously, Dimitri Vandenberg has dipped in and out. We've seen Kenny Nayans on the Euro Tour. Obviously, Ronnie and Kim Huybrechts.
Well, it's the top 16 on the Pro Tour Order of Merit that get automatic places in these European Tour events and enter on the Saturday. You can see the number next to Gerwyn Price there is 15, so
94.
He needs to make some progress in the next few weeks. We've got this event in Copenhagen in the next fortnight with a Players' Championship doubleheader in Wigan sandwiched in between. By the way, the development tour is happening in Wigan today. Mike De Decker could have been in that, but for playing here. 4 tournaments.
59.
Over the course of this weekend, and we'll try and keep you informed of any developments on the development tour.
177.
Gerwyn Price with a 177 to take his score down to 144, but don't get too excited. He's already used twice as many darts as he would need to be on the 9.
99, Gerwyn, you're 144. 94. Mike, you're 148.
148 the target for The Real Deal, and he's a third of the way there. Make that 2/3.
134.
Quite complete the combination. It'll be 10 for tops for Gerwyn Price, just sneaking in the top of the 10. Back down to that segment.
30.
Can't find it.
Mike, you're 14.
Can be awkward. That's very awkward. Where are you going, Mike? Oh, wonderful dart. Wonderful dart from Mike De Decker.
Second leg, Mike, to throw first. Game on.
Not quite sure how he managed to find a way, but find a way he did. Stepped across the okay. And it was probably a coin toss which way he was going to step there, but he selected the correct route and executed it excellently.
58.
Only run into each other once before, these two, and it was a couple of years ago. And it did go all the way
99.
to an 11th and deciding leg. It was won by Gerwyn Price.
81.
The winner of this one will take on either Michael Smith, the defending champion here, of course, or Jermaine Watermain. That will be a fast contest, won't it? Blinkham will miss it. That one this evening.
180.
It's his first 180 of the tournament. He did have a 177 in the previous leg, but it ultimately availed him nought.
66.
George Noble will have the pleasure of officiating that match between Smith and Watermaner, and I'm sure the 180 calls might be
55.
cut short abruptly in that one. Big names to come this evening, but some big names to come this afternoon too.
134.
Let this leg reach its conclusion and run you through.
17s. Double eights. Oh, very nearly 127 and game, but Mike De Decker could double his lead.
Gerwin Price has missed doubles, 1 in this leg, 2 in the previous leg. And if De Decker can land double 10, he'll find himself a couple of legs behind.
39. You go and you require 16.
Now he's got 3 clear.
He's on the
just
second
one.
leg. Gerwin Price.
The breaker throw is cancelled out. Yes,
Third leg going to throw first.
Of course, with the seeded players in action, you do have the big names, but we don't always have the biggest at the European Tour events. And Michael van Gerwen opted not to enter this tournament last year, but he's got a standout clash this evening against his best pal Vincent van der Voort, the #1 seed. We're also going to see Peter Wright against Michael Barnard, Mensa Suljevic against Adrian Lewis. That's a tasty encounter. But this afternoon, well, coming up after this, Darren Webster against Steve West, which could be absolutely brilliant. Then James Wade takes on Ross Smith. Simon Whitlock against Adam Huckvale.
58.
And then we're going to see a Euro Tour winner in Johnny Clayton against Hans Schneer. A Euro Tour winner in Max Hupp against Ian White. And the World Grand Prix champion Daryl Gurney against his World Cup teammate Brendan Dolan. I think that's a very good afternoon of European Tour darts.
Yeah, I do. I like the look of White versus Hupp. It could be an absolute belter. Max was fantastic yesterday. And
96.
Ian White... He just plays at a certain level you expect Ian White to produce. He goes sort of 98 average. Sometimes he'll go 107, but he likes it over here as well.
He was out on a boat yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, he was out seeing the dolphins. Ian Michael Smith filming something for the darts show. He goes down the shops and he collects little crystal animals. Ian, he's got a whole menagerie of them back in Stoke at home. He absolutely loves it here. Gerwin Price will be loving this.
140.
Hasn't managed to collect a European Tour title yet. Nor has Gerwin Price. Could this weekend be the one?
Two very capable players.
121.
You're looking at the likes of Joe Cullen. You know, for players who haven't won one of these, Daryl Gurney, Rob Cross. Mad to think that those two haven't won major titles. Ooh.
82.
Well, that doesn't matter because De Decker is not on a finish.
I mentioned Mike De Decker could have been on the development tour this weekend had he not qualified. He has won 4 of those development tour titles.
He's shown the third leg.
Suggestions that he could be the real deal.
Gerwin
Price dealing with the match so far, having lost the first leg, and the second one was threatened.
Well, I asked Mike at the end of his first round win against Matt Paget, you know, he'll look at, say, Dimitri Vandenberg, who had a peerless youth record. He'd won 10, 11 titles across development, youth and challenge tours. Mike's won 4. And he'll look at Dimitri and think, well, you know, if he can do it and he can break through, as he has done over the last few months, where he started to transfer those youth tour and development tour wins and runs of form and performances into senior darts and in the biggest tournaments of the lot, the World Championship, for example. If he can do that, then why can't I? But it's all about him learning to cope with senior darts, and it does take a while. It's not easy.
81.
Second time in the match, he's moved across the oche and found a perfect dart from that position.
85.
One to win the first leg. The dart a 7-7. Best dart of the match, that.
60.
Price returning from the World Cup, where he and Johnny Clayton reached the quarter-finals before being
79.
knocked out by Australia.
152.
I was a little bit disappointed with the Welsh side. I really thought they were dark horses to go on and win it, and neither of them really played anywhere near their capabilities over the course of the weekend.
I had a chat with Johnny, and he said that he really felt a lot of pressure in the pairs as Price Looks for another one in that area to leave his favourite double top.
You've shown the
And
full
that
flag.
is
Going
superb
bright.
stuff from the Welshman.
Fifth leg going to throw first.
Yeah, Johnny put in a fantastic performance to get him back into that quarter-final, didn't he? Beating Kyle Anderson, but then they kind of didn't gel again in the pairs match.
Well, I mean, he beat Kyle Anderson, but neither of them played particularly well. And that was the thing, these Johnny Clayton and Gerwyn Price went all the way to the final in Austria, and Clayton picking up his first Euro Tour title. In a final that could have gone either way. But we've seen from both of those guys this year that they're capable of going up there and throwing world-class stuff, 110 averages, 107, big scores, great finishing. We know they're capable of that, and we just didn't really see a great deal of it from either of them, whether it be singles play or...
Yeah, well, the previous year, of course, Price had made the final with Mark Webster, and that was a big factor in his inclusion in the Premier League. It was a couple of TV finals last year for Gerwyn Price, the other being at the UK Open, both early in the year. And I think he was a correct pick for the Premier League based on that.
100.
Definitely. I also think that Gerwyn Price will make his way back into the Premier League at some point in the future. Nothing so far suggests it's going to be next year, but we've got so many tournaments to come that
77.
you had a run at the quarterfinals of the UK Open. That's not going to get you in the Premier League. But I believe that we know he's got the game. We've seen he's got the game to go
100.
and make finals and win things. It's just about now doing it. I think he's perfectly created darts player for the Premier League. He's got the attitude and the image, and he's got an identity that people can grasp. And he's entertaining to watch. But he has to back it up with world-class darts, and he hadn't been doing enough of that. Seeing little flashes. Look at the players who aren't here. Gerwyn Price is in the seedings for a reason.
60.
Yeah, and he seems to be creating an opportunity for progress here in Gibraltar. Double top for a 4-1 lead.
Ooh.
21.
Yeah, well, he's got time on his side, but he could have done without that deflection into the one, because it means he'll only get 2 darts at double when he returns.
Yeah, neither
140.
of them. But his favourite, double top. But he does like double 12.
Okay, showing the fifth leg, Gerwyn Price. Sixth leg, Mike to throw first. Game on.
Well, unfortunately, Mike De Decker, after an impressive opening leg with that ridiculous dart into the double 7, oh dear me.
Well, that dart was in the treble 20 and has somehow been knocked by one that's gone into the skinny 1.
21.
Well, Stephen Bunting was he was getting really baffled by how his darts were behaving around that treble 20 bed. And in it, I mean, they weren't sticking in properly, and it's not a problem I've seen Bunting have before. He didn't look to be throwing really differently.
140.
I don't think we've changed the... Have we changed the board? I don't think we have. I think it's every couple of games we change it, so it's not... There may be an issue with this board. It's not, not stopped him firing in those with authority.
And they do react, don't they, to different temperatures and things like that, dartboard, so... Not sure if that could be a factor, the warm climate here in Gibraltar. Although it's rather cool in the hall.
Yeah,
compared to a venue that's packed with 4,000 fans.
Yes, indeed. That's the irony.
Well, they're stuck in all right. And Gerwyn Price sticking it to Mike De Decker now. A couple of maxes, a 177. And it's looking very, very comfortable
140
for the Iceman, the coolest man in town.
Double-double.
56. Mike, you require one.
Well, the 140 has left De Decker on a 2-darter. He'll need all 3. He's going treble 16.
52. Go, you require 40.
You can't give Gerwyn Price 3 darts at tops.
He's showing the 6th flag, Gerwyn
because
Price.
He does that more often than not. That's a 13-dart break of throw, and
7th flag,
you've just seen it.
Throw first.
It's a scrappy leg. Gerwyn wins it 21 darts on his own throw. But when they actually both put in a good leg, Gerwyn still ends up winning it. And Mike De Decker, I mean, he's not miles behind in the averages. He's only 5 points behind in the averages. But you just feel he's constantly been a dart, 2 darts, or a whole visit behind through most of this game after that first
100.
leg. He did have a couple of darts to go 2-0 up, but since then it's kind of been one-way traffic.
Yeah, it's by no means been a brilliant Gerwyn Price performance, but it has been a professional display, one that he's just done more than enough to cruise towards the finish line.
Yeah, it's not the kind of display that you look at some players who sticking their hand up and saying, I'm playing great darts, I could go and win this weekend. But how often in Michael van Gerwen's 24 Euro Tour title wins have we seen him go out there in the first round and just do enough? Sometimes, yes, he goes and averages 111, but sometimes he'll go and average 95 and do enough, and you think, oh, maybe he's vulnerable this weekend, and then the Sunday he plays fantastically and he's untouchable.
96.
150 left for Gerwyn Price to close this one out.
If he wants to do it in this leg,
139.
probably going to have to take it out now because De Decker's left himself handy. That's not going to happen. We saw a similar complexion in the previous match.
60.
Randy Bolton raced ahead to this position before Stephen Bunting started to come back. Can De Decker start to do the same?
38.
Price loves double top, doesn't he? So does he look at the bullseye here, or does he go with the conventional wisdom of going for the treble 20?
Conventional it is. Bullseye.
65.
One match dart missed.
20.
And it's punished
on the 7th leg, Mike
by the young Belgian. Looking to creep back into the contest.
8th leg, Mike to throw.
Break a throw as well.
Game on. $100.
Looks a bit loose. Which is why he comes downstairs and hits the 177. He's second of this game to add to the 2 180s that he's hit.
Mike De Decker
120.
looking there for his first. But another dart ended up on the floor.
$62.
Spittoon there somewhere. Ding! Gerwyn Price's flight hits the light.
40.
That's a bit of a slip. Hands the advantage in this leg to Gerwyn Price. Just has to make sure he's sensible with his counting.
134.
Which is why he went across to the 18s, but did even better than just leaving a huge check out.
140, going for 128.
Oh, now then. Yes, Gerwyn Price.
108.
No, Gerwyn Price. Second match dart missed.
101.
Well, this must go, Mike. It's not going to. It looks as if Mike will be on his bike.
20.
As Gerwyn Price gets the job done, a convincing win for him, a 6-2 success against the young Belgian. The Iceman moves through to the third round. He'll be back on Sunday afternoon to take on either the defending champion, the bully boy Michael Smith, or Jermaine Watermaner, who meet this evening. We've got Darren Webster and Steve West coming up next, but before that, Dan Dawson will just have a quick word with the winner of this one, Gerwyn Price, through to the final day of action.
Congratulations, Gerwyn. Not your best stuff, but you sort of seemed in control all the way through that game.
Yeah, I didn't play well at all, but neither did he. And I think sometimes the better someone plays against you, the better you play. But you know, the main thing is I'm through and I'm into tomorrow. But it's pathetic game.
Well, pathetic's a bit harsh, but fresh from your World Cup experiences with Wales, quarter-final run there, you've been sort of regularly knocking around quarter-finals this year. Just about, you're due another win, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm not playing the best stuff in the world, but I'm getting to latter stages of tournaments. But as soon as you come up against someone who's playing pretty well, then you seem to fall. So I need to put a lot more effort in, I think, on the practice board and get back to my winning ways. And no, I'm still in, but I'm not playing well.
You talked about getting that hunger back, though. So, I mean, is your attitude noticeably different? You notice it yourself from what it was a few months ago, say?
Yeah, no, I want to be here now. A couple of months ago when I was in Premier League, I didn't feel like I want to be there. I wanted to be home with the family, but now I want it a bit more. It's just the results ain't happening and the performances ain't there. But you know, hopefully over the next couple of weeks, I'll put a bit more effort in and the results and the performances will come.
The Iceman Going Prize, the Wales #1, safely through to the final day of action at the Gibraltar Darts Trophy.